learning from mistakes.
Great to be here, Mike. I think this deep dive will have some real light bulb moments for everyone.
To be honest, mistakes happen, right? To everyone.
Yeah, they're just part of being human.
Like forgetting to send an email or even bigger things. We all mess up sometimes.
And the thing is, we don't have to let them define us. We can use them to help us grow.
I like the mistakes as fuel, because we usually connect mistakes with failure.
That's what we need to change. Mistakes and failures aren't the same. A mistake is just something you did or chose that didn't work out.
Doesn't mean we're failures though, right?
Right, and mistakes can actually be good for us in some surprising ways.
Now this is where it gets interesting. So what are some of those benefits, Sarah?
Well, think of it this way. Every mistake is a chance to learn to get more knowledge, even new skills.
Like they say, experience is the best teacher, even if it's for messing up.
Yeah, the more mistakes we make, the more experience we get. Of course, we don't want to keep making the same ones, but each one has a lesson.
It's like a loop. You make a mistake, figure out what went wrong, learn, and do it differently next time.
Exactly. And that learning cycle helps us get better in every part of life.
You know, this reminds me of something I read about how important it is to see mistakes as learning experiences.
Oh, tell me more.
If we see our mistakes as huge failures, we avoid risks later because we get scared.
That fear of making mistakes can really hold you back, huh?
But if we can change our view and see them as chances to grow, it changes everything.
It's having a growth mindset.
And that mindset can lead to amazing things.
Oh, absolutely. When we're not afraid to mess up, we try new things, step outside our comfort zone, and we can achieve more.
It's good to remember that even really successful people have said how important it is to learn from mistakes. Walt Disney said, "The way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it." And Oprah Winfrey said, "Learn from every mistake, because every experience encounter, and particularly your mistakes, are there to teach you and force you into being more of who you are."
Those are great examples, Mike. They clearly see the value in embracing mistakes.
I think Elbert Hubbard said it best when he said, "The greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continually fearing you will make one."
Yeah, that fear stops us from doing so much.
It keeps us from taking chances, putting ourselves out there, reaching our potential.
Talking about learning experiences, did you hear about that HBO intern who accidentally sent a test email to tons of subscribers?
Oh yeah, that was all over the news.
And the reaction was so interesting, not what you'd expect.
People weren't mad at the intern for making such a big mistake.
No, there was a ton of empathy and support. People were sharing their own work mess-ups with the hashtag #DearIntern.
Wow, that's a perfect example of how our views on mistakes are changing.
It really is. It showed that people understood they were even laughing about it. It's a good reminder that we all make mistakes, especially when we're starting out.
So it's not about being defined by our mistakes. It's about owning them, learning, and moving on. Which leads to the big question, how do we learn from them? Admitting them is only the first step.
You're right. We need a process to figure out what went wrong and find those lessons.
So we don't just ignore it and pretend it never happened.
Exactly. We go deep, asking ourselves things like, what was I trying to do? What went wrong? When did things start going off track? And why did it go wrong?
Those are some really helpful questions to think about a mistake.
And by answering honestly, we start to see the root cause and where we need to change our approach.
It's like being a detective solving the mystery of the mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the more we investigate, the better the lessons we find.
I think sometimes getting other people's thoughts can be helpful too.
Absolutely. A fresh set of eyes can see things we miss.
A boss, a coworker, a mentor, even a friend. Getting constructive feedback helps us see things from different angles.
And that gives us even better insights.
Okay, so we've admitted the mistake, analyzed it, and maybe got some feedback. Now what's next in our learning journey?
Now we find the lesson. That's where the real value is.
Because every mistake has some hidden insight in it.
Right. Exactly. And our job is to find it.
How do we do that?
By asking ourselves, what did I learn from this? Maybe it's a new skill, understanding something better, or learning about our strengths and weaknesses.
Sometimes a mistake shows us a problem we didn't even know we had.
Right. And by seeing our blind spots, we can fix them and not make the same mistakes again.
Turning stumbles into stepping stones.
I love that. It's so true. Each mistake helps us grow and improve.
So once we've found those lessons, what do we do with them? How do we actually learn from them and not keep repeating them?
Great question. That brings us to making a plan to use what we've learned.
So it's not enough to just think about it. We need action.
Exactly. We have to put those lessons into practice. Maybe that's making new habits, changing our strategies, or getting some training to fill in gaps.
Like, if the mistake shows we need to get better at managing time, we could take a course or try new ways to get organized.
Exactly. It's about turning lessons into actions that help us avoid making the same mistake again.
And our plan needs to be specific.
Right? Yes. The more specific and actionable our plan is, the more likely we are to actually do it.
It's like we're making a roadmap for how we want to grow.
And remember, learning from mistakes isn't a one-time thing. It's a journey.
It's about always getting better throughout our lives.
And another important part of that is teaching others what we've learned.
So we're sharing our hard-earned knowledge with everyone.
Exactly. By sharing what we went through and what we figured out, we can help others avoid the same problems and learn from our experiences.
Paying it forward.
And when we teach something, it helps us understand it better too.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered admitting the mistake, analyzing it, getting feedback, finding the lessons, making a plan to use them, and teaching others. Is there anything else we need to do to make sure we're really learning from our mistakes?
There are a couple more things, Mike. One is to regularly think about our progress.
So taking a look at how far we've come and celebrating those wins?
Exactly. It's important to appreciate our successes and see the positive changes we've made.
And that can be really motivating.
Yeah.
It helps us keep going.
For sure. It reinforces the idea that mistakes are chances to grow, not setbacks.
I think it's also super important to remember to be kind to ourselves through this whole process.
That's so important, Mike. We need to be kind to ourselves.
Making mistakes can be tough on the ego.
It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we mess up, but it's so important to remember that we're all human and we're all going to make mistakes.
It's about learning to forgive ourselves, embrace our imperfections, and keep going with a positive attitude.
And that brings us to the last piece, embracing vulnerability.
We need to acknowledge that making mistakes can make us feel vulnerable.
Yes. And instead of trying to hide that vulnerability, we need to embrace it as a natural part of growth.
It takes courage to admit we're wrong, to ask for help, and to put ourselves out there.
It does. And by embracing that vulnerability, we open ourselves up to even more learning and growth.
And we create a more supportive environment for those around us.
Absolutely. When we're open about our mistakes, it gives others permission to do the same. And it helps create a culture of learning and constant improvement.
And that's what it's all about.
It is. Learning from mistakes is a journey that can lead to incredible personal and professional growth.
It's a journey filled with challenges and victories, and it's definitely one worth taking.
And the key is to approach it with a growth mindset, a willingness to learn, and a lot of self-compassion.
That's a great way to wrap up part 1 of our deep dive.
It's been great exploring this with you, Mike.
Likewise, Sarah. And to our listeners, stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into learning from mistakes, where we'll explore even more strategies and mindsets that can help you turn your blunders into breakthroughs.
So as we move into this next part on learning from mistakes, I want to talk about building a learning mindset.
Okay, so what exactly does that mean?
It's about changing how we see things. Instead of seeing challenges as threats to our ego, we see them as chances to grow.
That sounds like what we were talking about before with being vulnerable.
Exactly. A learning mindset means knowing we don't have all the answers. And that's okay.
It's being curious, asking questions, being open to different ways of thinking.
Yes. And it's knowing that making mistakes is part of learning.
So we don't fear mistakes. We see them as helpful feedback.
That's it. A learning mindset helps us see setbacks as temporary and focus on what they can teach us.
I can see how this change in thinking could really impact our personal and professional lives.
It definitely does. When we go through life wanting to learn and willing to learn from everything, it opens up so many possibilities.
It lets us keep evolving, adapting, and growing.
And it gives us the power to achieve more in every part of our lives.
It's amazing to think about the potential of a learning mindset.
Here to help us on this journey of growth, I also want to talk about the importance of having mentors and support from others.
That's a great point, Sarah. Having people we can turn to for guidance and encouragement can make a huge difference.
Whether it's a mentor, a coach, a supportive friend, or a professional network, having people in our corner can help us deal with the challenges of learning and growing.
They can give us valuable insights, encouragement when we're down, and help us stay focused on our goals.
Exactly. And they can celebrate our wins with us, which keeps us motivated and keeps us going.
We all need that strong support system to help us through the good and bad times.
And it's important to remember that building a learning mindset and finding that support are ongoing things.
It takes effort and a real commitment to growth.
But it's worth it.
I agree. So to sum up this part of our deep dive, the main takeaway is mistakes are not the enemy. They are valuable teachers.
Well said, Mike.
And by embracing a learning mindset, developing strategies for analyzing those mistakes, and finding a supportive community, we can turn what we might see as blunders into real breakthroughs.
I've really enjoyed this conversation, Mike. It's been great to share these ideas with everyone listening.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into learning from mistakes. Stay tuned for part 3, where Sarah will leave you with a final thought to think about as you continue on your journey of growth and discovery. Welcome back to the English Podcast Lab for the last part of our deep dive into learning from mistakes. We've covered so much today, from why mistakes happen to seeing them as chances to grow. We've even talked about practical ways to find those valuable lessons hiding in our slip-ups. Sarah, as we wrap up, what's one last thought you want to leave our listeners with?
Mike, it's been a great conversation. I hope everyone listening feels like they can embrace their mistakes and see them as stepping stones to success. My final thought is this: how will you turn your next mistake into a chance to grow? What systems or strategies can you use to help you learn?
That's a great question for all of us to think about. It's not enough to just say, oh, I made a mistake. We need to do something about it and use what we've learned in our lives. Remember, growth doesn't happen instantly. It's a constant process of learning, adapting, and changing. Be kind to yourselves, embrace those mistakes, and keep trying to be your best selves.